Hey everyone, I am super excited about today's video. I want to show you my new setup for my daily note-taking workflow. So this is what we're going to be going through. This is my daily note. You can see here immediately actions that are either due today or are standing actions or even actions that are aging or are in the future. And from here, I can click on any note and all my notes are visual. So this took me exactly to that action. I can, of course, observe where that action came from. I can see that this was a meeting with Bob the Builder on 27th of May on Wednesday. And here on the left-hand side in Excalidraw, I can immediately click on Bob and I can open my page for Bob. I can already see, of course, on Bob's page, what are some of the actions that I have waiting for Bob when I'm going to talk to him. But here, of course, I can immediately see my notes that I took with Bob on Wednesday. I can see that we, for example, talked about the town picnic day. And if I come here, then I can see that indeed this was the discussion with Bob about the town picnic day. So you see, all of these things are cross-connected. And I can navigate my daily notes, of course, like this. I can navigate them here in Excalidraw, so you can see here that the dates follow one another in a sequence. So you can see here that day after day, I have my notes. Now, of course, this is a setup with some imaginary characters like Bob the Builder, Mug the Dump Truck, and Rolly the Road Roller. And it's about some made-up projects, but I think you get the idea in terms of how all of this comes together. On each page, I can see what's relevant to that person. So I can see everything on Mug's page about the tasks he has. I can see my notes I took. In this case, it was only on Thursday. I also have document properties here, so I can set all of the different properties for Mug, or if I open a project like the Sunflower Valley project, then you can see here I can add different properties for the project. So all of this is handled. And of course, if I want to add Markdown notes, I can do that as well. So that's what we are building up to, and I'm going to show you how to do this. But before we go there, I wanted to go back to this quote. Why are we so focused on this? And if you're following me, you will notice that this is a topic I keep coming back to for the last 5 years. Since I'm in Obsidian and since I'm building the Excalidraw plugin, I've been working on solutions for a getting things done GTD process in Obsidian, where I don't have long backlog of actions that never get done, but I have to-do items that are in context. I'm facing the to-do item when I'm talking to the person, when I'm at the location, when I'm in the project meeting. The information is there in context. And what I've done recently is I took all of these learnings. You will see later on, I have a couple of past videos as well, and I reworked it with all the new features available. But why am I doing this? I'm doing this partly because of this quote from James Clear, which really resonates with me deeply. Clear says that the human body has about 11 million sensory receptors, and approximately 10 million of those are dedicated to sight. That's a staggering number. And then Clear goes on to argue that even a small change in what you see can lead to a big shift in what you do. And I believe that if instead of walls of text, if instead of bullet point lists, you see whiteboards, infinite canvases for your projects, for your day, for your notes on people, on vendors, on books that you read, on anything that you do. I think that that visual engagement is actually not a small change, but a huge change. And I believe it can lead to an enormous shift in what you do, how you think, and what you achieve. So to understand a bit of the background, I think you need to understand this concept of a daily journal-based personal knowledge management. Essentially, the idea is you have this backbone of daily journal entries that is the anchoring point of all your notes. And anything you do, anything you take notes on, or anything you explore that day is linked to your daily journal. So in this way, the daily journal is at the heart of your entire PKM system. And that is because we have a natural ability to remember the anchoring moments. It's actually part of what you could call the LATCH framework. I take LATCH from Information Anxiety 2. The term was coined by Richard Saul Wurman. Wurman is the founder of TED Talks, and he argues that there are really only 5 ways to organize information: its location, alphabet, category, hierarchy, and time. So a daily journal-based note-taking system already anchors your ideas, at least according to one of these 5. I have a process called latching in my entire mindset framework, which argues that the more connecting points you create for a note, the higher likelihood of rediscovery. Now, as I mentioned, this is not a new topic. I've explored the basic GTD workflow already in a video in 2022, so 4 years ago. And essentially what I'm doing here is the same workflow, but now 100% visual. There are 0 Markdown documents involved. Everything is on a canvas. I explore different note-taking approaches, different PKM approaches in my video, How Do You Organize Your Notes, in July 2022. And you can see here the daily journal PKM is one of the different approaches I explore in this video. And already earlier, back in October 2021, I was exploring how you can do task management using Excalidraw whiteboard. So this topic is definitely not new. My interest in this goes back, I would say, 26 years, the first time when I read David Allen's book. And why have I picked up all of this now? It's because many things have evolved since I created that workflow. I invented the 2-sided notes in Excalidraw. I added Markdown embeddables to Excalidraw and invented the back of the note cards. But also, in the meantime, the Tasks plugin was launched. It's an amazing task management tool. In the past, I was using DataView for this. And now Obsidian has document properties and bases. And also there's Mind Map Builder. So there's so many change here that I thought it's time to look at this again. And I think part of the story is in the new Sketch Your Mind community, engaging with the community. One of the top requests from the community members was a visual note-taking, visual daily note-taking habit. And I think what I'm building here is the foundation of such a habit. And so putting this all together, I think it's about time to dust off my daily journal PKM process and to build something new. And so you already saw how the core idea works here. So at the heart of my solution is your daily notes page, and this is This is like a creative whiteboard for the day. I capture all my ideas here, but whenever I have a topical discussion, maybe I'm engaged in a project and I want to take notes on that project, or I'm meeting with someone and I'm engaged in that discussion, or I'm reading a book, I want those notes not to sit in the daily note page, but to be linked to the daily notes page, because on the daily note, I do want to see everything in one place, everything I did that day. But on the long term, these notes have a better home when they're in the project notes or they're in my book notes or wherever else, because if I open that in the future, then that's there I want to find them. So the basic idea is that no matter which note you open, you see all the relevant information in context, but the individual notes are always in their proper home location. That's the basic idea. And the way this works is, or what this includes as well, is this thing I call the in-context task management. There, essentially, if I'm on a page, on the project page, and I'm taking notes, I might actually add a task that references, for example, John. And when I open John's page, I want to see the tasks that are relevant only to John. So when I have my meeting with John, then I can concentrate on these actions. But when I'm in the project meeting, then I'm actually interested in all my project related notes. And so this is what's integrated into this solution with the magic of the tasks plugin and with the help of Bank of the Note cards in Excalidraw. And so the implementation here looks like this, that this is my conceptual daily note page. Essentially, I have a log and I have an open space for any note I want to type and not draw. But then for each of my notes that I take on a project, on a book, on a person, on an article I read, anything, they are actually linked to this note with an ontology that links them to that other note. And this ontology is what you saw in Excalibrain. I'll zoom in later on that you can see how that works, but it explains the relationship between my daily note and the note I'm taking. And then if we look at this from a note A, note B perspective, then you can see here that I have, for example, a Markdown embed that references this note on my other page. So this could be my project page, this could be John's page. And on the project page, if during the project meeting or in relation to the project I have a meeting with John, then I'm going to create a link from here that goes to this Markdown note, but I'm going to see the Markdown note in the original location as well. So no matter which document I open, I always see the content in place. So I think that's all the theory I wanted to share with you. Now over to the solution. And I think there's a small disclaimer around the solution. So I am going to be sharing the capture note script in the Excalidraw script store. So you will find the script here. If you click on the Obsidian Tools panel, you click on the Install Script button, then here you will be able to type in capture note. Now, it will not find it now because I haven't yet published it, but you will find it here. And like if you were installing another script, if I click on slideshow, I can click install the script and the script is going to be installed. So that way you can install the capture note script and it will work out of the box. But this video will have two parts. Part one is the one that you're watching right now. Part two is only going to be available to the Sketch Your Mind community members. Check the links in the video description how to join the community. And the second video will also include this demo vault. And the demo vault actually includes a set of templates. So I have all sorts of templates here. If I flip this over, then you will see. So these are actual templates that I've developed to support this process. I can come here as well, so you can see here these templates include all sorts of markup and materials. Also on the front page you can see some templater markup. So the demo vault comes set up with all of these files as examples, so you can work from it. It also comes pre-configured with Excalidraw such that you can actually see the ontology for links, and even the ontology is configured, as well as the demo vault comes set up. And then let's just dive in and see how note-taking works. So if I'm here on this day and I want to take note, for example, I'm meeting with Bob the Builder and I want to take notes on that meeting, I would start the script. I have a hotkey for this, but let's close this. I can also start the script with the Obsidian command palette, and I can select here capture note, but I have a shortcut for that. And here I can type Bob's name, Bob the Builder. I can select that I want to use his short name, Bob. I want to take a visual note. I can also take a markdown note. We can take a look at that in a second. I want the note to open on a new tab. I have a couple of other options, but because of the space limitations in this video, I'm going to be using the new tab. And I can select the type of ontology I want to use. So in this case, I'm going to be meeting with him to, yeah, we're just meeting for a coffee, so I can just call it a meeting, or maybe this is a coaching meeting. So I'm meeting with Bob for a coaching meeting, and I click capture note. Then you can see here that there was a bit of jumping around. You see I have still my note for Sunday. If I click back, you can see here that Sunday, now I have the time right now, that's 6:30 p.m. This is when I'm recording the video, and I'm meeting for a coaching meeting with Bob. And right now I have an empty mind map here. If I come back here, this is the map that I have there. But then if I zoom out here, I can see my previous notes with Bob, which of course, if I want, I can also arrange into a more logical order, or I can even add additional drawings here to somehow add some additional markup that is important in terms of explaining what's going on, etc. So I can make this a visual board. I can also come here and look at whatever open tasks I have with Bob. So here I can see that actually from the Sunflower Valley Playground program, I have a task here that I need to update Bob on the delivery delay, and I have a due date. This is already due because this was due on the 29th of May. So I'm already informed about all of this. And so when I start my discussion with Bob, I can just start to take notes on my discussion. So we are talking about this and that and some other things. And maybe as we talk, the sunflower project does come up. And maybe indeed I want to create a note on that. So I can actually, if I want to link from here to the sunflower project, I can press Ctrl N, and I can actually type in the Sunflower Valley Playground project. And maybe we jumped into something around deciding something around that project. So now I moved over to the sunflower project. You can see here that I still have Bob open here. And you see here that I have the Sunflower Valley project here with the empty mind map. And I can come back here and it will update in a second. And you can see here that I have my meeting with Bob, and I have the Sunflower Valley project referenced, which has also the mind map there. And I can come back here. Of course, again, on this page, I can do the same stuff, so I can rearrange this to be more logical. I can look at all the tasks that are listed here. Right now, there's one due today or with a due date. So I can see this indeed need to arrange flowers, and yeah, I can follow this up. Right now, this is from the town picnic project, but you get the idea. I have the tasks in here, and of course I can take note here. So the thing to the side is options are, and I can add option A, option B, etc. I won't bore you with all of this. Once I'm ready with my note, I can use the capture note script, the same script, to make sure that this frame around it actually fits exactly this item, because that is helpful in terms of arranging topics. If I come back here, of course, my note is going to arrive here. I need to refresh the mind map so it auto arranges. So now I can see I have my notes right there. I can also package this up like this, and maybe this will come here because for whatever reason. So this is my big whiteboard where I can organize these notes however it makes sense for my understanding. And of course, if I come back to Sunday, then here I'm going to see the entire story. I need to refresh this mind map as well, so the arrangement is good, and I can continue taking my notes. So this is another note on Sunday. And maybe just to demonstrate this to you, I'm going to have a meeting with Muck. So let's Muck the dump truck. And in this case, I want to take a textual note, and we're meeting. So I just want to press the capture button. And so this time around, you can see that this is a Markdown note that was created. And I can just simply add my bulleted list like this, A, B, C, or I can add a table. You get the point. So I can create this here. This is also arranged here, so I can move it around. This has a link back to where it comes from. And if I come here, then on this page, this note was embedded. And in fact, I can also edit the note right here on my Sunday page. So these links are, or these notes are cross-link. They can be Markdown notes, they can be drawings. But I think what you can notice is I'm not leaving the canvas. I don't need to look at walls of text. I can arrange all of my pages on a whiteboard, and in the meantime I get this ontology-based contextual mind map of what's going on. And maybe let's just move it up here so you can see it in a bit bigger. So this is how this all looks like. I can see that the previous day and the next day, I can see who I was coaching, I can see what happened 1 year ago, I can see my note on the playground, and this is true for every day. So if I move here, then you can see I can navigate these days. So this is now Thursday. I can come to my Sunflower Valley playground. I can see who were involved. It's related to the town picnic. I can see which days I had discussions on it. I can go to my town picnic and so on. It's all interconnected in this mind map. and at the same time, it's all in one place in a visual note-taking system. So this is what I'm extremely excited about. Now, this script is new. I'm pretty sure there are going to be enhancements, and in fact, the next weekend, so a week from today, that's the first weekend in June, I am organizing an hour with the Sketch Your Mind community members to dive into specifically this workflow and seek some feedback. As I mentioned, I'm going to be posting another video for the Sketch Your Mind community that goes into how this demo vault is set up, and this will give people a good starting point. And of course, if you're interested, then check out the links in the video description. Things I will not go into in this video, but will cover with the Sketch Your Mind community are, for example, all of the settings. So here, if you click on the settings button, this is effectively where you can set up your note type ontology. This is where you can configure how your daily note and your date formats work. This is where you can actually set up some of these note type properties. You can set different visual templates for how these notes are created, as well as there are some sizing and embedding settings. So there's plenty of settings to dig into, but this video is already 25 minutes long. I don't want to make it longer. And also, I think if you're interested, I can just repeat myself. I highly recommend you to join the Sketch Your Mind community. It's an amazing group of people. We now have roughly 150 members, and it's growing quickly. And I've been setting up get to know you meetings with the new community members, and I can tell you, everyone is an amazing, deep thinking, open person with really insightful ideas. So it's an amazing PKM visual thinking community. I highly recommend checking it out. But without that as well, I tried to make this script as self-explanatory and as easy as possible, and using some of my other scripts on how to create templates for Excalidraw on my GTD workflow, etc. I think you can figure it out. This should work pretty much out of the box, but yeah, if you want further information, then please check the link and join the community. Thank you.